All right, guys. So our language skills this week, we're going to be studying adverbs this week. So we're going to start off with a little video on adverbs, and then throughout the week we'll have activities to do to practice our adverbs. But this is just a basic introduction to you on what adverbs are. So please pay attention to the video.
Welcome back. Today, the adverb. But what is an adverb? This is a very simple sentence with a subject and a verb. Mona explained. If you want to know how she explained, Mona explained nicely. Nicely is an adverb. You can also say Mona explained badly. Adverb adds more information about the verb, the action. Time, way, place. When it happens, how it happens, and where. Examples: when, yesterday, today, now, tomorrow, later. How? Well, quickly, beautifully, carefully, quietly. Where? Here, there, everywhere, inside, outside. Tom worked yesterday. Tom worked quickly. Tom worked inside. Yesterday tells us when he worked. Quickly tells us how he worked. Inside tells us where. Tom worked quickly. Quickly is the adverb. You can put quickly after the main verb or before it. They're both correct, but one sounds better than the other. Adverb number 2 adds more information about the adjective. To what degree? To what extent? He is strong. Strong is an adjective. It describes the man. He is so strong. So is an adverb. It tells us to what degree. A little or a lot? In this case, a lot. He is so strong. Adverb number 3 adds more information about another adverb. To what degree? To what extent? She writes very nicely. Nicely is an adverb. It tells us how she writes. Very is another adverb. It tells us to what degree. They talk too loudly. Loudly is an adverb. It describes how they talk. Too is another adverb. It tells us to what degree. In this case, it's more than how it should be. Notice that some, not all, some adverbs are originally adjectives plus ly, like loud, that's an adjective, plus ly, loudly, makes it an adverb. Quickly, beautifully, carefully. Frequency adverbs, they tell us how often we do the action. 0%, never. 5%, rarely, almost never. 50%, sometimes. 90%, usually. 100%, always. Here are some examples. I always drink coffee. I usually drink. I sometimes drink. I rarely drink. I never drink. The coffee is always hot, is usually hot, is sometimes hot, is rarely hot, is never hot. Notice that the frequency adverbs come before the main verb, drink, and they come after the verb to be, is. So, before the main verb, after the verb to be. Time for a wrap-up. Adverb. Number 1, modifies verbs. When, how, where. Modifies adjectives. To what extent? Modifies adverbs. To what extent? And tells us more about our habits. How often? Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, show me some love, and tell everyone.
All right, so the key takeaways from our adverbs is just that, again, it's describing how, when, where, to what degree or to what extent, and how often. Those are the keys we're looking for when we're reading about our adverbs. And we kind of have to be careful because sometimes adverbs can get confused with adjectives, and we will talk about that a little more as the week goes on, but just keeping in mind that differentiation between what an adverb is and what an adjective is. All right, so that was the first thing. Again, just a quick down and dirty brief introduction to adverbs. And then the next part we are going to do is take a look at our roots for the week. So give me just a second here to get to my roots, and we will go through our roots. We are on 26 to 30 this week, 26 to 30. Excuse me. So your words should start with semi or semi, which means half or partial. The first one I think of is semi-sweet or semi-sweet. When you talk about chocolate chips, they're not as sweet as like a milk chocolate chip, but it's half or partial. A semicircle or a semicircle is half of a circle. It's not the whole circle. Okay. Anybody else think of a word that works for semi?
Semi-truck?
Yeah, we could do semi-truck.
What about semifinals?
Semifinals,
yeah.
yes, because it's not the final, it's before the final.
Semi-pie?
I'm not sure what a semi-pie is.
It's half a pie.
Okay. Semi-run, okay, part of a run. Okay, you guys are getting creative, I like it.
Semi-mile?
Semi-mile, part of a mile. I think some of our words we're starting to make up. But remember, you can always use dictionaries to verify that what you're coming up with is truly a word, okay? Our next is hemi. Hemi means half. So I think of like a hemisphere, right? The earth is divided into hemispheres, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So it's half of the earth up above and half of the earth down below. Oh, this one's kind of tough. Let's see, what else can we think of? I might grab my dictionary out again, unless somebody else has some to share. No, no one can think of any? Where did my dictionary? What's that?
Hemicircle?
I don't know that I've ever heard of a hemicircle. Oh, there it is.
Hemicircle doesn't exist.
Spencer. All right, so let me grab my dictionary here and open on up to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, E, M, hemi. I see hemisphere, hemispheric. There's hemispherical. So most of them are just kind of adjustments to hemisphere. Okay, that one's a little more difficult. Next, X, EX, which means out. So can anybody think of some X words?
Expelled.
Extend.
Exit.
Exclude.
I love it.
Expelled.
Expel, yep. Here's one that we have to make sure that we're really looking at the definition of the words to make sure that they work with that EX, because like an excuse doesn't really have to do with out. Extraordinary doesn't really have to do with out. So we need to make sure that the words we're coming up with have something to do with out in their meaning, okay? Let's see, next, how many is that? Is that 3? This number 4? Extra. So now here's where extraordinary can work, because extraordinary is beyond the ordinary, right? It's extraordinary. Extraterrestrial, yes, that's a good one. Any other extra words?
What was that last word you said?
Extraterrestrial, like a alien.
Awesome. For credit?
I didn't. What did you say, Jackson?
extra credit, does that work?
That's 2 words. It's not 1 word, and we're looking for things that are 1 word. Like extravagant, right? They're dressed really fancy, extravagant. Let's see, then extradition is when you support or export, get rid of somebody. Extradite them, you take them away. Extracurricular, so we talk about extracurriculars are like the activities that you're doing outside of your normal schoolwork, okay? And our last word is ante, and ante means before, so things that come before something else. So anybody, I'm going to head to ante so I can give you guys some suggestions.
Ante.
Anybody have some? And it's A-N-T-E, not A-N-T-I.
And never mind.
So like antebellum is the period before the Civil War. It was before the Civil War happened. Antechamber is like a waiting room in front of a larger room.
Antenna.
Antelope does not work because that doesn't have anything to do with before. What's that?
Antiques.
Antique, nope, antique is spelled different, and it's, I guess it is kind of before, but no. Antecedent is what you're just talking about, something that went before something else.
Antidote. Antedate.
Yeah, again, just make sure you're looking at the definition and making sure it works. Anterior is something that's placed in front of something else. But dictionaries are your friends, guys, because you can look these up and you can look at the definitions. You have to look at the definitions. You can't just copy down words. Look at the definitions and make sure that they work for whatever that specific root is that we're talking about. So let me see, is that, yep, that's 30. So again, your words for this week are semi, hemi, ex, extra, and ante. Okay, those are your root words we're going to be having this week. Do not leave. We have to write in our journals, in our planners, and I do have something else that I want to share with you that you need to be doing. Actually,